Before we start this video, I'm going to do a shameless plug. We've got just over 20 days to reach our crowdfunding target for the launch of our own fragrance. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the link below in the description. Consider pre-ordering this fragrance. It's going to be a UK effort primarily, but if you're not from the UK and you can't pre-order it, also consider just supporting the project for less money to see the brand come to life. Also, consider joining our Atrium of Scent private group. The idea of the group is that you no longer have to pay full price for any fragrance. You can buy it for a discounted price from other people in your region or swap fragrances with other people as well. Also, it's just a cool group where people can always message each other on Discord. The community is always there. We do weekly live calls and all membership fees goes to one big giveaway of any fragrance of the winner's choosing at the end of the month. Both links for both the fragrance launch and the private group will be in the description down below. Let's start the video. This video is going to be practical. We're going to give you 4 fragrances in each of our 5 categories, which is going to be versatile, date night, work/office, clubbing, and then hidden gem cheapies at the end. When I think of great spring fragrances, I'm thinking of the great outdoors, so I'm thinking woody, floral, or green notes. Make sure to list your favorite spring fragrance in the comments down below. Let's get into it. First of all, the versatile signature category. Prada Luna Rosa Carbon is an easy option. It's the Sauvage DNA, but again, the great outdoors, lavender really makes this more appropriate for the springtime. It's fresh out of the shower, compliment grabbing, great performance. I get at least 8 hours with this. It's a very safe, versatile option for any age group. Armani Code Eau de Parfum. I'm not sure if Absolute or this is the best flanker of the Code line currently. Essentially, it takes one of my most favorite fragrances of all time, the original Armani Code, and makes it much better performing now. The Armani Code original got reformulated. So what they did is they kind of modernized this by toning down the star anise, which had a bit of a sharp, almost offensive, spicy note to it. I quite liked it, some people didn't. So this is a very smooth lavender, vanilla, and leather fragrance. The leather is what makes the Armani Code line just mature and elegant. If you want a very smooth, creamy, elegant signature, this fragrance is for you. I think this is a masterpiece. I think they've actually elevated the original Code DNA. It's just very easy to like. It doesn't project as much as the original Code, but lasts longer. So it's 12 hours with a softer projection, I would say. Dior Homme, the original. Again, elegance, but in a more fresh way. This is such a unique masterpiece from a very long time ago. This is floral, sharp woodiness. This is masculinity that is distinct in a bottle. This literally makes it smell so unique, but so beautiful. Such a great blend of perfumery here. Unlike the Dior Homme 2020 release, which is fine. It's a mass appealing fragrance, but does not have the same level of creativity as the original. If you want a long-lasting, just masterful work in perfumery, go for Dior Homme Original. And lastly, Oud Lemon Mint by Mancera. I think Cedra Boisé is probably the more appropriate fresh fragrance from Mancera for the colder seasons, but I think for spring and summer, this takes the cake. This is not as safe as Cedra Boisé. I think it has a bit of a strange opening that has actually grown on me. It smells sort of like those lemon hard sweets you get when you were a kid, like almost like sort of like lemon sherbet as well. It smells like candied lemon in the opening. There is the oud core that Mancera has. It's synthetic. It's not real oud at all. I don't think it's real oud, but it's very nice. I think the dry down is the best part about this fragrance. It's extremely fresh, extremely sharp. And the woody muskiness on the dry down is very handsome. I think this is definitely a masculine fragrances, although it's targeted as something that's unisex. And I think just as you wear this fragrance, it lasts a beast mode amount of time, 12 hours, and it just gets better on your skin throughout the day. And this has got me compliments as well. I think this is a very good release by Mancera. I'm glad to have recently acquired this. Notice, guys, how it is halfway full. That's because I got this from a fragrance group, guys. I got it for a very cheap price. That's all I'm saying, guys. Going to the date night category, Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky. I think still the best 1 Million flanker in my opinion. This is a very fresh, musky, woody fragrance that combines these gourmand notes of hazelnuts and honey, but I think it smells like caramel popcorn overall in my opinion. I think it's just a really interesting concept how they've taken a gourmand and making it so light and easy to wear. It's a soft projection, it lasts about 6 hours. I actually say in my TikToks that I think a young guy could wear this at school as long as you don't overspray. It's a very sexy fragrance, very unique, distinct. I think one of the best designers out there actually, so definitely good for a date environment, especially in the daytime. in spring. Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Mal, the original. Lavender and mint gives this the pop that I think makes it appropriate for spring. I think this is the last season you can wear it. It still is quite powdery, dense, and based on vanilla. I think in the UK, definitely in our spring, it's still mild enough to wear this fragrance. It's, again, I think it's a masterpiece. Obviously, it's a lot closer now. It used to be a clubbing fragrance. Well, traditionally seen as that. Now it's come closer to the skin. I get at least 6 hours overspray with this, and it smells incredibly sexy. Tom Ford's Ombré Leather. This is for the guy who likes to wear a leather jacket on a date. I don't think this necessarily just smells bad boy. I just think it smells like very good, high quality, realistic leather. It's high quality, realistic leather with a smoky effect, but at the same time smooth. It's a good beginner's leather fragrance, if that's all you want in the fragrance. You don't want it to focus on too many other things. So yes, I think if you want elegance, you want to smell like the inside of an expensive car, or you just like wearing leather on your dates, ombre leather, just a masterful work in perfumery in general to own in your collection. And just, yeah, to wear if you're into that sort of style. CH Men's Privé. Now this is the leather fragrance that also focuses on other notes. The lavender, again, makes it great for spring. This is a sexy, fun, boozy leather with some sweet tonka in there, but it's actually surprisingly fresh. When I read about this fragrance online, I blindbolted. I didn't expect it to be so sharp and fresh, in my opinion. I get about 6 hours with this fragrance. I think it performs well. Overspray with this, guys, but again, this is the more fun and playful leather edgy vibe, in my opinion. And I think a lot of younger guys will love the kind of appearance or the sort of character that this fragrance gives off. I think this is a masterpiece. Not a beast mode performer, guys, whatever. It's a masterpiece, in my opinion. The office category, you know we're going to include some vetiver in here. Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. Okay, vetiver obviously makes sense for spring. It is a green, tall grass that just represents the outdoor when you smell it. It can smell a bit old school, outdated. This is actually primarily, in my opinion, a floral citrus fragrance, where if those notes were on their own, it might have been unisex or feminine. But the vetiver balances it out and makes it have that smoky masculine effect from the notes. I think it is very well balanced. That's the best way to describe it. It is Tom Ford making a style of perfumery very much modern and easy to wear. If you want a very smooth but smoky, high quality, clean, bright office fragrance, Grey Vetiver is so easy to like. It lasts about 8 hours on my skin with a soft projection. Easily inoffensive. Terre D'Hermes is the other vetiver fragrance on this category. Just a masterpiece through and through. You could wear this as your signature, but I think it makes a great distinct office scent in general. A bit more mature again. I get 14 hours with this. Smoky, dirty orange with a clean, woody and slightly spicy touch in there as well in the dry down. ISO-E super base, so it's very mass appealing, gets you a lot of compliments. I always talk about this fragrance, 10 out of 10. Fougere D'Argent is one of my signature fragrances. I think it works perfectly in the office. Again, it's that Tom Ford approach I said before. It takes a Fougere barbershop old school style, makes it modern. It has a smoky woodiness to it, but at the same time, it's just transformative, becomes a little bit more ambery on the dry down. It does smell like, yeah, lavender based again, very clean, outdoorsy, clean, soapy barbershop vibes here. That at the same time smells sexy, but still inoffensive. It's soft. You won't get a beast mode amount of compliments with this, but when people do smell you, they'll realize how pleasant you smell. I do get some compliments with this, but I personally love it mainly for myself. And it lasts about 10 hours. And finally, making our spring list again, is Creed's Green Irish Tweed. No, I don't think you should get the cheaper clones like Cool Water or Train Nuit by Armaf. I do sometimes recommend the clones over expensive Creed fragrances, but I think this is actually one that's worth saving for. It has a very high quality green, violet leaf vibe into this fragrance. It smells very much musky, dense, luxurious, a little bit fresh out the shower, let's say, but also mature. I think if you want a fragrance that really is a bit intense, but at the same time professional, this is the one to go for. This is a head-turning signature fragrance in my opinion. I don't always wear that often, but I still appreciate that this is mastercraft perfumery once again. In the big loud clubbing and partying category, Rasasi Hawas is probably the safest option here. Relatively affordable, it's very loud, massive compliments, it mixes fruit notes with aquatics. It's like the Invictus DNA, Middle Eastern, and put on steroids. I've spoke about this many times before. This just works. Definitely, I think for this season, it's going to be great in both daytime and nighttime partying, and I get about 12 hours, and I hear the reformulations with the grey juice still performs really well also. This is a less safe option that I still love, Moschino's Toy Boy. Don't forget guys, this fragrance is insanely beast mode. It's so cheap, at the same time it lasts 12 hours, and it's very loud in its projection. I think it smells very high quality, and it gets me a lot of compliments. It is a rose, pear, spicy, musky fragrance. It's definitely taking a more risky approach to designer perfumery, but that's why I respect it and love it so much. It's not necessarily always my style, but I like wearing it every once in a while to just remember how interesting of a fragrance this is. I think, yeah, this is definitely clubbing material, guys. This just grabs people's attention. Even just like 2 sprays can fill up a room with this. Great, great value for money. Carolina Herrera's 212 VIP. Recent purchase for myself. I don't know why more people in the community don't speak about this. This is a very nice clubbing scent. This apparently has a vodka note. I mean, whatever, it's marketing, but essentially it takes the Rasasi Hawas, let's say the aquatics of this, but they take away the fruit notes. This smells like a very loud, still slightly sweet, very sharp and transparent musky fragrance. I think it smells incredibly sexy. I think it does remind you of the clubs. I think if you're sweating and you don't want a fragrance to smell too sweet, this will definitely work. It smells super pleasant, super sexy. I get 6 hours with this fragrance, but it is definitely a loud projector. And finally, this is an interesting one, guys. This is Terence Hughes Neon. This is not Aaron's usual style of perfumery, in my opinion. I think what Aaron's done here is he's taken the Invictus DNA, the Aventus DNA, and the Sauvage DNA. He saw this is what's in the mainstream right now. He put them all together and then added his own twist to it and made it beast mode. What's Aaron's twist in his fragrances? They're always usually quite smooth, dense, creamy, musky fragrances. So this is a smooth, creamy musk mixed with all 3 of those DNAs. Those 3 DNAs can be clubbing fragrances on their own. This, you know, you think sometimes mixing things like this can be a disaster, but I think Aaron's done it so beautifully. That may not be his intention, but that's what this fragrance smells like to me, and I love it. I've worn this fragrance a few times. It's already gotten me some compliments. It lasts about 8 hours, maybe a medium amount projection. This just reminds me of like partying, essentially. I think that's hence why it's named the way it is. It's called Neon. This is one of Aaron's best. Not his usual style like most of his other fragrances, but I think this is, if you want like an easy mainstream fragrance from Aaron, if you want a blind buy fragrance from Terence Hughes, this is fantastic. One to consider for clubbing or just to wear as a casual everyday fragrance. And finally, some of the best cheapies for spring. Encre Noir Extreme, 10 out of 10 fragrance. I always talk about this. If you want a dark, woody scent that still has an easy wearability to it, lasts 12 hours, very much patchouli based, got that sweet, beautiful darkness in there. You will love this fragrance. I easily think this is the best out of the Encre Noir line. Maybe Encre Noir Sport might be a little bit easier to wear. It's a little bit more mass appealing, but I just think it doesn't trump this at all. Definitely recommend this, guys. I think if you want an interesting fragrance, I think it's worth blind buying. Guerlain's L'Instant de Guerlain EDT. This is a spicy, citrus, cacao powder sweet fragrance. This is sort of like Armani Code EDT, but adding that cacao chocolate note in there. I think the EDP does smell better, but it's a bit too dense for spring. I think this is just very interesting perfumery. It's obviously, Guerlain is just masterful perfumery. It smells traditional, but at the same time still relevant and modern, and has this sort of fizzy effervescence to it. It's going to be some compliments. This is surprisingly going to be a lot of compliments in the small amount of time I've owned this. I think for a fragrance that's less than £30, this is masterful perfumery. It could have better performance. I get about 6 hours with this, and the projection is between soft to medium. Armaf's Club de Nuit Sillage. See, this is my example of a Creed fragrance I don't recommend you buy. I don't think Silver Mountain Water is worth its price tag. This clone, I think, it's not higher quality in its smell. It's definitely more synthetic, but it trumps it. It makes it more masculine, more easy to wear. This lasts 12 hours, while Silver Mountain Water is about 6 hours longevity, is what I got. This is just, yeah, beast mode for the price. And I think it's just makes Silver Mountain water irrelevant. I think that fragrance has actually a lot of good clones, which makes you question why it needs such a high price tag. Overall, I don't think this fragrance DNA is trying to be sexy. I think it's meant to be calm, relaxing, easy to wear. And finally, Carolina Herrera's 212 Men NYC, the original. This is the young man's version of Green Irish Tweed, in my opinion. It's not a clone, it's its own thing, but it has that grass note, but mixed with a really mass appealing, fresh, musky shower gel DNA. It's strange how it was made in 1999, but I still think this smells very modern. It's got great longevity, it's very cheap. I get 10 hours with this fragrance, medium projection. I think it smells very smooth. I've always slept on this one because I thought fragrances that have a grass note in them can't smell that great, but you'll be surprised, guys. I definitely recommend this. You should check it out. I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Again, let us know what your favorite spring fragrances are in the comments down below. The top 20 summer fragrances video will be just around the corner. Again, make sure you check out our fragrance launch in the link in the description, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.